Alright. Alright, we're gonna start. I'm not tired, you're tired. I actually didn't even feel tired until like 10 seconds ago. What's up, everyone? This is another... Completely lost my train of thought. Wow, I am falling apart the second I decided to actually hit the cam button. Excellent. Painted white scars. I know that. I'm pretty sure this is basically tabletop. I think. And, yeah, welcome to the Monday night stream. How is everyone doing? I hope better than my, vocal focus. I know what I'm doing physically, I just have no idea what I'm doing with my speaking. That's falling apart, clearly. But, yeah, all my timers go off at the same time. That's great. I am doing the Corex white highlight on the back piece of a white scar cell intercessor to catch everyone up as to what is going on. Pardon me. I am pretty sure we're going to be finishing this part of it on stream. And, yeah, then it's a choice between the bolt pistol arm or the chainsword arm as the next piece. Fortunately, we won't be mounting it to the base just yet, as the green stuff is still hardening. And I don't feel like, farming that right now. So the base stuff will probably be done tomorrow. I mean... might be hard enough. Maybe if you guys bug me enough, I'll do it. If you guys really want to see that part of the process. Thus begins the first, 15 minutes of stream where I talk to myself. What do I want to talk about? What do I want to talk about? I'm getting hyped about Destiny again. I watched last night. No, it was yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, I watched Bricky's video on the Witch Queen expansion, and he said Destiny is the best it's ever been with this expansion. He loves it. Can't get enough. And I'm like, alright, you know what, Bricky, I respect your opinion. I like your ideas. I get your points. Okay. I was super into Destiny early on, and then, maybe, I think it was more like 2 years ago, looking at the expansion timeline. 2 years ago, maybe 3, I completely fell off of Destiny. I was super into it for, most of its time out, honestly. Since, beta of Destiny 1, I'm not even joking, the whole time. Because I was super into Halo, too. It kind of happened at the same time that I really dropped off, playing a lot of video games in general. As I picked up more and more of the Warhammer hobby. So, but yeah, I've been playing a little bit more games here and there, and Ricky was like, it's amazing. I'm like, alright. So I installed it last night, started the new campaign, which I don't know if this is the case or not, but it feels like it. Is the entire campaign in one mission that just seamlessly goes from one spot to the other, and you can stop at the checkpoints? Because, man, I was in that mission for 3 hours before finally stopping, being like, yo, I'm assuming this is a checkpoint, and I did double check that it was a checkpoint. And, I gotta stop. I don't know if there's just one super long mission or what, but like this is bonkers. I had killed like 500 or 600 enemies at that point. Went through like 4 or 5 no respawn areas, and I was playing on Legendary too after not playing for I don't know how long. I haven't even picked up my Xbox controller in months. I've been like a PC only gamer for like a while. When I did play a game. So this afternoon, when I didn't have to have my ears on other stuff, I've been watching My Name is Biff, trying to get reacquainted with where the lore is right now, and I think I just passed where I left off, which was right when Emperor Callus had started doing the whole you can become my shadows thing, become my assassins. Right when that started is like the last, and I had been barely playing at that point. Like I didn't even play the Last Wish raid. Honestly, I didn't play like super often during that, but I played the campaign. But yeah, like I haven't done the Last Wish, which I think is still a played raid, so I think I still have a chance of doing that. And I kind of knew what was the Black Armory. I never did a crapload of it, but like I knew what it was. I knew what Gambit was. I had played some Gambit. I like Gambit, actually. I think Gambit's pretty fun. Yeah. Just the style and the lore and everything has gotten me real hype again. I'm excited to play it after the stream. As if I don't get inspired by painting and end up painting my new personal project, because my last one, the Relics Karin Vander, is officially completed. And you can go check it out before it hits everywhere else Wednesday. You can go check out a preview picture of it on my Discord. It's free to join. You just hit command Discord in chat, or you hit the Linktree link in the chat, and you're good. I will say it has taken longer than I thought to get used to playing a Titan again, which has been my main. I think it's because with the new abilities, the new 3 subclasses 3.0 or whatever they call them, like I've been trying to find a build that works for me. Like I found one that seemed like on paper had a lot of synergy, but it's not quite the same as like Destiny 1 Void, where I could just constantly be an overshield. Like it supposedly has a lot of overshield going on in it, but I feel like I'm not getting that much of it unless I hit my super. So I'm thinking of switching that up for maybe something more offensive. Even though Void, like Thunderdome Titan was my main through all of Destiny 1, and now that type of bubble is back. It's very exciting for me. I don't know, maybe I should take a second and look at the other two, because I was, at least in Destiny 2, liking the Sunbreaker subclass for a lot of Destiny 2. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the arc. I've just, unless I'm doing a specific kind of thing, I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot with the arc subclass. Like, I know how to use it as far as, like, you know, Smash. But, yeah. I will say, I didn't really use the whole long-range version of a lot. Like, I remember that being a thing, but I don't really remember really implementing it. Yeah, it's definitely not gonna need to be cleaned up later. I just realized I forgot the black line under the knee thing. Yeah, I might as well do that now and fix the other thing. Because if I'm likely to screw anything up a lot, it's under the knee thing, which will get fixed by the thorax weight highlight. Oh, forgot to do the bit I messed up earlier. This is actually, on the model, physically a pretty well-defined trench here. But my brush wants to do everything but just a simple straight line for some odd reason. I am not caring for this track specifically. One thing I have noticed about Corex white is that it stains white pretty rarely. So you can actually have it pretty thin and watery and it will still get you the actual effect you want. So don't be afraid of putting a fair bit of, like, say, flow improver, which is what I'm using. And you can make it actually become pretty silky for you. What you do have to worry about is when doing stuff like this here, where you have to keep it from pulling into the recess. You're trying to highlight around. Perfect. Screwed it up right at the end. Can we just have this track? Yeah, somehow random back to the exact same track again. Sure. Oh, ain't that the truth? Always in my head.
say it's no one's fault, the battles that we lost, the chances I gave you, I never complained, it's true. The nights you didn't call, did not come home at all. Who's gonna hold your hand in the dark? Who's gonna warm your cold, cold heart? Not me, it's not me. Not me, it's not me. Who's gonna be there when you're breaking down? Who's gonna fix you when I'm not around? Not me, it's not me. Not me, it's not me. Who's gonna stay when you're falling apart? Who's gonna warm your cold, cold heart? Who's gonna warm your cold heart? Keep calling up my phone like there is nothing wrong. You think we can pretend, keep acting to the end. Oh baby, you're crazy. Think you can still fool me? You know the time is up, you'll never be enough. Nah, nah, nah. Who's gonna hold your hand in the dark? Who's gonna warm your cold, cold heart? Not me, it's not me. Not me, it's not me. Who's gonna be there when you're breaking down? Who's gonna fix you when I'm not around? Not me, it's not me. Not me, it's not me. Who's gonna stay when you're falling
Oh, and other news, tomorrow morning, my updated weight tutorial walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, is going up. That's cool. Finished editing that earlier today. I did all the editing of that. New format specifically, so it takes me only about an hour to make a real video. After that, I'm kind of... I was about to say I was out of ideas for new tutorials, and I just realized I probably could do one on the leather I do for these. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure why I bother with the broad highlight on the boot trim, but whatever. Was completionist sake. About all I got. All the highlight? I think that might be all the highlight. Ooh, I keep going out of frame. Yeah, I think that's all the highlight. Cool. Time for edge highlight. Hey, Soren. The silence has been broken. What's up, man? You know, my mental image every time you come in, just start by posting the, like, explosion emoji is, like, a dragonborn, from D&D, like, kicking in a door. Just fire everywhere. How am I? Overall, pretty good. Feeling a little tired right now, but pretty good. How are you? Like I say, feeling a little tired. Been quite a day. Yeah, that's my reserve water. Use the real cup. How are you, Soren? We're moving on to white scar for the edge highlight. I'm good. I do have a question about paints. Speak, citizen. Ask and it shall be revealed unto you. I hope. In theory. I guarantee nothing. Oil, yes or no? Oh, good lord. Okay. I've seen people do amazing things on miniatures with oil paints. Would I ever touch them? Probably not. It's because I'm scared. No, oils are funky. Oil, like, for one, they never dry. They never, like, completely, wholly dry. You can always reactivate them. Means you know you gotta seal them in, like there's no question about it. Like, if it's done, seal it in. I've not played with oils. Like I said, I know there are people that have. If I were to look, I know there's a specific guy I do follow. He just has a weird name on Twitch. He's pretty late at night if you're American like me. Although I guess if you're West Coast, he's not super late for you. But he is, like, for me in Eastern, like 1 a.m. Usually when he streams, or when I notice him streaming. Usually paints Lord of the Rings minis. And he does them in oils, and they look incredible. Mind-blowing. He also does paint, like, normal oil paints, like, on canvas. And those are really good, too. So it's like, if you wanna, you just gotta understand next to none of the rules of acrylic apply. You're East Coast? Okay, so yeah, he's pretty late. Although I can, if you give me a second, I can pull up his name, and you can see when he's online, or find out if he does VODs. I don't know if he does VODs. Let's see. It is... Hold on. I believe it is this guy. He does have VODs. I'm trying to ensure this is definitely the guy I am thinking about. Is it between him and... Oh, maybe it's this guy. They both have, like, similar, like, names like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this guy. Okay, here we go. He does also have VODs. Wow, he just... Yeah, no, it's this guy. He blows me away every time I see his stuff. Wapelius. I'm going to link him in the chat for you. That is your man. That guy makes me jealous. I am not a jealous person. Kind of jealous of his capability, but it's all on it's all oil. It's like super traditional, like, painting techniques applied to, like, Lord of the Rings minis, and man, does it look good. So yeah, as far as oil, go talk to that guy. He's also a pretty nice guy, as far as I know. So yeah. If you have any questions about acrylic paint, or inks, or conversions, you know, kit bashing, I'm even starting to get more and more aggressive with the green stuff. Those things I can definitely answer. I do not need more Corex Way. Why am I sticking in Corex Way? I need the White Scar. Alright. Besides that, what else is up? I have a few topics in mind, but if you have something specific, like, I'm always open to suggestions. Anyone that watches me regularly should know by now I really rely on my chat for back and forth. You guys are my entertainment crutch. Like, I can paint, really, but there's a reason that I don't make just videos. Because I tried, it's hard. Way more freeform in reality. I'm going to do something like this at all. But anyway, so I've been, you know what, firstly, it's not coming out till Wednesday, although if you're in my Discord, you can see a preview pic of it. My first personal project in a while has been completed, the Relics Car Inventor, with a whole lot of conversion stuff added to it. That'll be hitting all the social medias on Wednesday. That's exciting. Tomorrow will be the weight armor tutorial update, as in, you know, a full step-by-step tutorial on how I do the weight armor in, like, what is it, like just under 7 minutes, I think? 6 or 7 minutes? I want to say it's like just under 7 minutes long. And you see the entire thing, like from beginning to end of me painting a White Scar leg.
it's a big dark world. You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. I'll protect you with my lies. You don't need to know about that. Don't need to know about that. Just let me love you. 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 Someday you will meet the one who will put you on a throne, will put you on a throne. And I will go out on my own to see the world again. But until then, just let me love you. Just
Did I miss that? Wait, with the correct way entirely? Looks like I did. Whoopsie!
just let me love you. Just let me love you.
Fix that real quick. That's on. They come out from the other side, because inside edge is gonna be rougher than the outside. There we go. Fine. I'm not dying. I don't think. Well, I think technically I'm 28, so I think technically I am dying. But I think those rumors are greatly exaggerated. It's dumb. We are getting there. Almost done with this piece. Yo, Gosu! What up, my man? How be you on this Monday? Beginning of the week. Need more white scar. I'm alright. I forgot how I mixed the rest I did yesterday, so I'm slowly losing my mind trying to remix it. I know that pain. That's why when I know I'm doing a bunch of something, I make a whole dropper bottle of it. I actually can't even tell like how much is left in this thing, but it's definitely enough for the rest of this commission, I imagine. Yeah, it's like about half a dropper bottle. Makes like 10 different combos. I'm just going with a bit of everything. Fair enough. I am losing my mind just in general. Just overall. Just, you know, Sandy is slowly fading. Gone. Being normal, over. Done. No hope. What is going on? Okay, actually a fair bit. So I had both my D&D games, those were awesome. I finished that tank. There's a picture of it in the Discord, my Discord. It's then hitting everywhere on Wednesday. Today, right before this stream, I edited the full update on my white armor tutorial. That'll be going up tomorrow on YouTube, Instagram, and the Discord. It actually should have gone up on the Discord tonight, but I forgot. Because that entails me putting up on YouTube just as private. I forgot to do that. So that's on me. But since I upload stuff in the morning, usually around 10 a.m. Eastern, at least that's when I try to upload stuff. It'll be up on the Discord around then, anyway. What else is up? Getting back in Destiny 2. After like a year plus hiatus. Which is big for me because I've been in Destiny since like day one of beta of Destiny 1. And I just completely lost all interest in it a while back, and then was watching a Bricky video, and Bricky was like, hey, new Witch Queen expansion is like the best Destiny's ever been. And I'm like, oh really? Wow. I guess I'll get back into this, I suppose. Into my favorite MMO light. So as for your Rust, wish I could help. I got no idea. I've not really gone into doing Rust stuff, as I've not really done much of stuff that is not Imperial. Honestly, I've done Imperial and Necrons. And one Harlequin commission I don't like to talk about. Yeah. Yeah, most of it's been Space Marines. I've done my own Raven Guard, these White Scars, I've done some Space Wolves here and there. Gotta figure it out, it's all good. Good. And I started my next, personal project, which I thought was gonna be my Storm Raven, tribalizing that, but I am a little tired on doing a vehicle for that. It's just a lot. It's a lot. To tribalize a vehicle, like a large vehicle, it's just a lot. So, I'm doing a third-party Terminator Librarian for Raven Guard, and it is going to be incredible. And when am I gonna play it? Crusade, maybe, I suppose? I don't know. It's not meta, like, except for the fact that there's a combi Melta involved. And it's using a staff. That actually can be fairly meta for Raven Guard, but that's about it. Because they have a, in 40k anyway, they have a spell. I'm just gonna call it a psychic power. They have psychic power that increases their strength to their leadership, so it becomes base strength 9. So plus the staff gives them what, like strength 12 in melee. So yeah, it's good idea to have if you're not doing a Primaris type like Primaris or Phobos Librarian, then you want a staff on him. Unless you're doing like a Burning Blade type thing, which I don't think you can do. No, you can't do that because they're all it's 4 swords, not power swords. So never mind. So yeah, you want if it's some kind of Firstborn Librarian, you want a staff. It has a staff, and it's a really cool staff because it's third party. Which actually I won in a competition, not competition, a giveaway, Instagram a while back. So it'd be nice to finally paint one of the 3 models I got from that hand up, show it off. It's gonna be really like off the charts just from the model itself. The model itself is just so good. I almost have the base done already. Moving on to the legs. I kind of like gotta build it going upwards because of the nature of it. Yeah, how are the Tyrant Siege Tyrant Terminators coming, besides Rusty? Oh, he's just a regular Cataphractor. Oh, fair enough. Still pretty good. So the Tyrant boys put together. I wonder if I don't own any Cataphracti. I won't until I get my hands on the Ancient Darkness box, which I have no idea what's going on with that because the shop just seems to refute. And I know as soon as I say this, he's gonna pop in the chat because he watches me sometimes. I don't know if he's put the order in or not. I've asked him twice. I have no idea what's happening. I would do this so much with my hobby shop. Oh boy. I mean, it can't be as bad as my first hobby shop. My first one? Here's how bad it was. Okay, joked on me and told me tomorrow and next day. Okay, here's about my first one was. I asked for a pack of the Space Marine data cards in 8th edition, right? It took, let's see, I ordered them about the time I got the first codex, which was maybe 3 or 4 months after the Dark Imperium box hit, I think, something like that. You know when I finally got the cards in my hand? I made a joke when I got the cards. It was like literally a week before they announced Space Marines Codex 2.0. That was like over a year later. So whatever's going on is still going to be an upgrade from that. I think this, oh, I do have a little bit of Ironbreaker and then a cleanup to do, but I think the highlighting on that is done. Oh, and I need to put the transfer on here for squad number. I mean, this shopkeep's usually pretty good about, so like, I'm fairly sure it's the order's put in. It's just, it's annoying not knowing for certain. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've not really had problems with him before. Granted, I don't put a lot of orders in. It's because I can't afford a lot of orders. I'm looking for Ironbreaker. So I forgot to highlight the cap on the pistol. What's it called? A holster? The holster cap. And also I need buttons on the pouches. Huh. Oh yeah, you missed it earlier, Gosu. In the afternoon stream, we had like just a huge, like D&D, story time. Basically, it was like most of the stream. It was Drunken Zombie and Venom Rat. Usually found in the mini Ruckus stream. Bears are going back and forth with D&D stories. It's pretty awesome. That stream went by so fast. Like a half hour, and I went long. I'm pretty sure the conclusion we came to was that my Sunday night game is like one of the best GMs like on the planet. just because the games that you get with him. Unfortunately, we don't record it. I wish we did record it, stream it, something, share it with the world. Like, we could totally be a mid-tier D&D stream with his plots and things. It's plots within plots within plots within plans within plots within schemes. Like, I didn't even go into the deep parts of the iceberg. Son of a... Every time I manage to get a little bit on the holster, and I have to brush it off before it dries or I'm screwed because it's so annoying to fix the leather on here. Other than that, quiet night. Been pretty low-key stream tonight. Honestly, looking forward to after, because I want to resume the Destiny campaign. If I don't get inspired to work on the Librarian more. Probably the Destiny campaign, totally honest. Although if we have a sun spin around and we have a bunch of people in here, I'll probably raid tonight. Just cause. Why not? I feel like I went a little heavy on skeleton horn these pouches, but oh well. They don't look terrible. They don't look bad enough that I feel I need to fix them. Alright, what do we got? Mostly just matte white fixes, I think. I don't think I really have a whole lot I need to do for like Black Templar stuff, so I think it's just matte white fixes. Okay. Get some matte white on the palette. I'm repairing matte white, which is what I use as the base coat for stuff. Soon enough I will be able to say you want to see all the steps, go see the video. Almost there. I've been here, been listening to super focused. No, I gotcha. It's also kind of where I'm at right now. Just like, if I don't have direct things to respond to, I'm just losing myself in my head. I'm gonna go make some dinner. I'm going to lurk for a bit. Fair enough. What I really need to do is figure out how to fit into my schedule more working on my shirt designs. And get some new merch up there. Some good merch. Alright, let's prep this for the transfer. Yo, Gosu, if you're still there, I got something you can probably relate to. 3 days ago, according to my goal tracker and the stream manager, I hit 50 followers. And I believe it also says that on my channel. If you go to my channel homepage, it says 50 followers. You go to my achievements and insights, it says 49 still. So, still can't give out VIP badges for some reason, because Twitch can't track single-digit increments. I don't know. It's freaking weird. So that's fun. So I guess I need one more still before it actually matters. So it's not reached 50 followers, it's reached 51 apparently. Alright, so that's a micro sound in me. While that dries, we're going to cut out his squad insignia. Sure. Over there. Yeah. This guy is of 4th squad? I don't know, whatever the first squad lightning is when it's upside down. Yeah, it's one of the new sheets. Alright. Brand new transfer sheet for this guy. I don't know why I threw that envelope back in the box. I need to put this right back in it anyway. Derp-a-derp. Tweezers. Where are my good tweezers? I think them being like rainbow translucent would make them easier to find, but yeah. That's exactly what I thought would happen. Ah. And well, let's soak. People that haven't used transfers before, this is how you do transfers. This dry. It is dry. Cool. Microset usually dries pretty quickly. And get a and get this brush. A little bit of water on there. Pop. That is the easiest one of those has ever come off with a cardboard for me. By a long shot. Normally I'm fighting with the thing. And notice that in the position. I think there's a piece of Linktr or something getting involved. I don't know. Yeah, knock. Honestly, if there's enough water in the situation, what I like to do is use the back of my X-Acto knife. We do it really gently. Very good control. Very precise. That seems good. Yeah. We'll let the water dry and then pop some microsol on it. I keep putting tools in my brush compartment instead of in the tool compartment. Yeah, so what's gonna be the next piece? Heavy bolt pistol or chainsword? It's gotta be one of the arms. It's torso plus legs, then the arms, then the backpack, then the head. That's how this works. Anyone in chat have a preference? Do you prefer to shoot your enemies, or do you prefer to saw them in half? Or you just like hand cannons? Hand cannons are a strong argument. Sometimes I wonder why I ask. Literally, I don't think I've ever gotten a vote one way or another. Though I ask every single time about arms. Yeah. I think the water is dried enough that we should put the microsol on it. Microset and microsol, for those that aren't aware. Microsol are both acidic or caustic. Literally melts the plastic involved. Microset does a little bit, but it's mostly meant for prepping the area. And microsol melts a fair bit. In fact, if you put too much for too long, it'll actually start melting the paint into this weird goo. Had that happen before. That was not easy or fun to fix. It's funny to look at. Fixing, not so much. So you don't want to put like too much. That probably is plenty right there. It also will seal in and mat down the transfer. Just that dries, and then we can pop the other. Actually, I'll pop that one onto the main piece. Let's take a look at pistol arm. So I want to say best practices here. Probably the lead belcher first, and then the black, which will be the casing and the soft seals. Then the highlights for the black, like the Dawnstone on the soft seals, and Eshin Gray, and I don't know why I keep bothering with the Eshin Gray. Dawnstone on the black, then Nuln Oil on the black, and the lead belcher, highlighted lead belcher with Ironbreaker. Then we move on to the reds and the white armor. Yeah. That's the second time this armor's fallen off that. What's up with this? This is just not getting a lot of adhesion. As I'm getting pinged in Discord, I see a notification. It has a number on it. Why? Both servers that do questions of the day that I'm in have done their questions of the day. Why am I getting pinged? Ah. Is it to me or just in general? Oh, just in general. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. That is... whatever. I might see to that in, like, you know, right after the stream. I don't know. That's a certain someone looking to talk in VC about probably politics and culture. However, they do know 40k, so... might go in just to chat about this stuff. I don't know. Alright. So, let's get the lead belcher ready while we're waiting for that. I guess. Man, this pot is so close to done. Not long now. You know what's terrible? A terrible thought I just had. It's gonna haunt me now. I have to do 18 of these White Scar Assault Interceptors. I've done most of them. I have... 1, 2... what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5... I have 3 left. 2 after this one. Almost there, guys. They can be done next week if I like really try to push it. Yeah, in theory, by the end of next week, we could be done with the Assault Intercessors and move on to something more fun. Which I need to remember to put up a poll on the Discord as to what we're doing next. Because we have options. What I was thinking was, at some point, eventually, I'm gonna have to paint all these bits again. Because I just remembered that I have the bits to an assault intercessor sprue, or like, you know, a box. Like, I don't have the sprues. A friend just gave me like the bag with all like the bits in them. So I have a full 10-man squad of these. On the plus side, it's way less to paint those in like effort, but knowing me, because they're assault intercessors in particular, I'm gonna be mucking with them. There's gonna be some significant conversions happening. But the base bits, I'm gonna be painting all these again. And not just like a couple of them either. It's probably not for a good ways down the line because I don't see a whole lot of a special use for them in Raven Guard right now. So I'd have to be doing something pretty particular to want to do that. I'm much more likely to paint up another squad of normal intercessors, which I have built a full 10-man. They're just waiting there. Sword and the Sergeant's already done. I did it for that Power Sword tutorial way back when. So yeah, that's a thing. Also, I can't believe we're about to hit October. I swear last month was March or April. It was a pretty cool, weather-wise, it was a pretty cool year. Like, we had one big heat wave when everyone was going through the heat wave. But, like, it's already starting to cool off here in Rhode Island. Like, it was a beautiful, idyllic, couldn't tell if it was spring or fall day today. I wish I'd spend more time outside, but I was working or streaming, one or the other, instead. But, yeah, just the other day, it was like 48 at night. And I'm like, it's not even October yet. Why is it cold? Just a couple years ago, we had like all October was like in the 70s. Why? Because it's going to be cold until like March or April. Once it gets cold, like it stays cold here. Like, what is it, the Groundhog Day? If it sees its shadow, it's nearly spring. Yeah, well, it's always overcast in the early parts of the year. Like, it's always 6 more weeks of winter. Like, I just want it to be spring all the time. You know, mid to late spring, just all the time. That'd be great. So like, late April, early May. Although this year, that was like late May, early June. Like, man, we just could not catch a break this year. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start prepping for winter and mentally prepare to be in thick clothes for 6 months. Alright. I wanna say the lead belcher is done. Yeah. Let's see about patching the two torso beds together. Oh yeah, so the choices we have after the assault intercessors are done. We have 3 outriders, 3 blade guard vets, blade guard ancients, or chaplain on a bike. Kasara Khan is part of the commission, but I refuse to do him until the end. I have to check, but I think also the Primaris chaplain is supposed to be tier 4 as well. Yeah, that's looking done. The rest of this looks good. Looks really good, actually. Through the camera, armor looks great. Like, perfect. I'm gonna give the bottom of the foot a little bit of a sand down so it doesn't mess with the base, which I haven't prepped yet. Green stuff is drying, specifically, on the base. I'll be ready to do stuff with tomorrow. Nice. Real easy dry fit. Just gotta pop some glue in there. Which I will be hopefully working on it in the later part of tomorrow. Early part in afternoon. I've got a bunch of computer work for a tech job. Doing a meeting. Which, meetings with these people are always good. Like, they're good people. I don't know why I'm having a bunch of anxiety about it. Well, that's all looking pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I think this might be one of the cleaner ones, honestly. Alright. Back to painting the pistol arm, which next is black. So yeah, I can think of different reasons why I'd want to paint any of those options now, and why thinking long term, why, like, how it's kind of hard to systemize how to make this make sense. So like, I could take a break from painting like just sheer infantry, for example, and paint either the bikers or the ancient, because it's a character. Oh, I'm losing all my thoughts. Hold on. I'm kind of thinking also keeping the bike chaplain towards the end as like a buffer between the other stuff and Kasarkhan, as chaplain's actually going to be mostly black armor. I'm thinking also black bike. you know, all black, which is nice for me because I have years of experience of painting black. So I can make that look really good, even if it's meant to be like tier 4 or whatever. Like, you know, a higher tier than these guys even in quality level. I can still pull that off. You know, I'm just gonna hit the back of that with a shader when we get to the shaders. I'm not gonna sweat that. Let's move on to the casing here. Oh, I knew there was something the lead belcher was missing. That pocket in there isn't actually filled in with lead belcher. Also, I don't know what it is, but I actually really like this track. This might be one of my favorite tracks in the playlist. Can't really put my finger on why. I really like it. I think like the best route for my Sandy would be going from these to Blade Guard Ancient. Set the standard for some of the Blade Guard colors with the Ancient. Then do the Outriders. Then do the Blade Guard Vets. Then Chaplain, then Kasarkon. However, I am willing to put up to the people watching me do those as to which ones they'd prefer me see after suffering with me through all these Assault Intercessors doing the same parts over and over again. Only for another week, only for another 2 weeks. I was about to say week and a half, and I remember today's Monday, not Wednesday. I have a busy day Wednesday, good God. I have my last therapist appointment, which I'm actually kind of happy about. I considering how busy I'm getting on the day-to-day, I would like my Wednesday mornings back. And psychologically, I've been doing actually quite fine. Psychologically, emotionally, I've been doing pretty good for a while now. I have the 2 streams, and I also have dinner and dishes. Which I'll probably... Well, actually, no. I was able to do it last week if I did a round of dishes before I made dinner. I was able to fit it all in. It takes up the entire interim between... unless we have a bunch of leftovers, which we might, then I can do a leftovers. And I have next to no cooking I have to do, and just focus on the dishes. Then I can get some time between streams. That'd be nice. To focus on whatever. But yeah, tomorrow morning I gotta work on a bunch of website stuff. Prep for a meeting in the mid-afternoon. I hate afternoon. I think that's part of it. Normally we meet in the morning, which is nice because it's usually like either right after or even like before I can even do my entire morning routine. I can just not get out of the way. Because I rarely... Son of a mother... It popped off again. I cannot for the life of me get this arm to stick. I'm the tech expert in this particular project that the meetings are about. So I rarely actually have to be super in it during the meetings. Like it's the client, it's a designer, and then it's me that does the main tech stuff. But I also do a lot of design work, so we kind of doubled up on the design. And the whole thing is not massively tech, like tech complex, really. Most of the time. Oh no, actually, it's actually almost over the whole thing. Unless there's significant bugs that come out of it, should be pretty much done. Like, I don't have to really think about it anymore as of Thursday the 6th. That would be nice. Like, one last push on Thursday the 6th, and then stop thinking about this thing unless massive bugs pop up that we didn't see previously. Anyway. Give this another minute to dry. Coming up on the end here. Very low-key, quiet stream. This isn't the worst thing in the world. Okay, it's not great for my numbers as far as me getting an affiliate, but what are you gonna do? It's always a risk. It's not being a lot of people around. But gotta take that risk to have the good ones. It is slightly padded somewhat by a pretty good stream earlier today, so that's nice. That one had like a 3.2 average viewers, which is about where I want to be. This one's probably gonna have an average of like 1.8. Maybe a low 2s. I'll probably overall lower my overall average a little bit, because I was sitting at about 2.6 as of this morning. No, 2.5 something. It was 2.6 after the afternoon stream. So I'll probably go back down to like 2.4, 2.3. As long as I stay above 2, I'll be happy. I was stuck below 2 for like weeks. Rather not go back to that. Just psychologically speaking. I think it's just the fact of my meetings in the afternoon. I just don't like it. I don't like afternoon meetings. On a day that otherwise had nothing else going on that was like time sensitive. Like if I didn't have that, I'd probably be spending most of my time painting this commission. Like moving this assault intercessor along. And maybe some time working on some shirt designs. Just kind of at my own pace, you know? Which, you know, once the focus really sets in, if it sets in, to be fair, if the focus sets in, and is a pretty blistering pace, actually, but, there's a demand, though. Oh, you know what I need? Well, that wouldn't help me much until I got a resin printer. I was thinking about how I kind of want to make a cinematic presentation vid thing for Sakaran Veteran, Sakaran Vandor, and thinking, oh, what if I had it? You know, I'm kind of working on getting terrain going. Still having problems with my 3D printer, but you know, eventually I'll have terrain going. That's fine. What about having some infantry standing alongside it? Like, oh well, the only ones I have done are the intercessors and or infiltrators, both of which are Primaris. I kind of want to do a Horus Heresy one that be a bit more, you know, obvious. It's like, well, I am intending on getting those TAC Marines from the Age of Darkness box, as that would fit a little better than the ones that I have currently, which are from their base models are from Dark Vengeance, which is 6th edition Dark Angels, with some conversions here and there. I was thinking like, oh, well, yeah, I get some of those, and I do my tribalization to them, and you know, done deal. It's like, oh, I need more bits, because I'm almost out of the, I'm almost out of the really usable bits of my most recent Corvus Cabal box, because I've gone through a couple of them now. I've gotten to the point where the leathers and hides part, I can green stuff that. I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of comfortable green stuffing it. What I don't have are a bunch of raven skulls or claws or any of that, and I'm not quite at the point where I feel comfortable trying to carve that, especially not at that size. That's a little nuts. But if I could 3D print them, they're very small. If I had my resin, and this is when I started talking about this, like, no, I need my resin printer up and going. I don't yet. So I'm not in a place where I can actually use it. That's frustrating. So I was like, oh, if I could find a STL for small, you know, bird skulls, or hell, even bird feathers and talons, that'd be really cool. I can just make as many as I want. Have them everywhere. Be like purity seals for my guys. But not yet. Coming up on the end. Few more minutes. Let's pop the Dawnstone on soft seals. Why not? And then probably call it after that. I am tired. I am too tired for this track. Yeah, track's called Failing Focus. It's pretty apt, pretty accurate. Alright. Although a picture with, a picture of Vander with the intercessors would look kind of cool. Yeah, I need to make sure I properly... Well, here's the problem. The sculpt for the Librarian Terminator... a lot more knight-like. It's actually originally supposed to be a sculpt for a Grey Knight Librarian that I'm converting over. So it might be kind of hard to tribalize them enough. We'll see how it goes. Maybe if I alter the helmet a decent bit. That's the most blatantly knight aspect of it. I think I can kind of pull off the other bits. I mean, he does have a whole... This thing is coming off the nail again. I've never had this much problem before. Wow. Wow, it just refuses to make a solid seal. Maybe I'm just not letting it sit long enough. He does have a bunch of candles on the back of it, like it could. I wonder if I could convert those to be... I mean, it sucks. I like the look of it. I'm trying to make it make thematic sense. But they just have the idea of like torches, like ye old like crappy treble horde torches. Coming off the back instead. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I gotta play around with a couple ideas going on here. Anyway, I think I'm gonna cut it a couple minutes early. We only got like 3 minutes left anyway. I am tired. Yeah, if you want to support the stream, and help it be more vivacious in the future, use the Linktree that I believe just popped up in the chat and find, merch store where you can put in for commissions, where you can get, your own stuff painted. Maybe not exactly like this, hopefully not exactly like this, but this kind of quality level, if not a little bit higher. I can do a little bit higher. And conversions, definitely do conversions, like crazy. And a Patreon, which I still am working on what rewards for that will look like, but I will definitely I'll figure something out. And join a Discord. Discord's free and does get benefits already, like seeing my personal stuff, post early and early access to tutorials, as well as upcoming polls on stuff, like what am I painting next after these Soul Intercessors are done in 2 weeks. Stuff like that. And if this commission ends and there's nothing... there's not another commission going on, then you guys will have a lot more say into what I'm painting. So you get to see what you want. Alright, it's been basically Tabletop, and I'm signing out. I will see you all again Wednesday afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. It's, yeah, there's the merch link actually just popped up from the timer. That's all designed by me. It does include this mug. Warning, this is a coffee mug, not a brush rinse cup. This is there as well as a number of other ones. I've got a bunch more. I've got a bunch more merch designs in the works. So, yeah. Oh, son of a... Alright. I'm out. Have a good one, guys.